What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking to a comedian, a battle rapper, an actress. My goodness, what don't you do? But she is Polly Wally. Polly, what's going on?
Hey.
How you feeling on this like Monday morning? You just got done with like shows last week, and I mean to be back in front of a live crowd. That's got to be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, it's exciting to be doing live shows again. Thank goodness.
So, in terms of like all the stuff that you're doing, like how did it all begin? Because you could have done the actress stuff, you could have done the battle rap and rap stuff, you could have done just the comedian stuff, but you found a way to kind of meld everything together. How did you start in any one or all of it?
Yeah, no, I started off acting. I came out here, I was doing theater, and I started producing my own plays that I would act in. And I did that for a couple years, and I enjoyed it and stuff. But then I just, one day, I made up, well, I did two different things. I made a web series. I started doing a web series and started doing comedy where I played my mom, and my mom's real fat. So I put in this pillow into my stomach and then just did these silly videos of me and my mom playing my mother. And then I just started making rap songs, and I made up a Hanukkah song one day, and I was like, oh, this is fun. I like making up songs. And then I just started making up songs, and then I started performing them live. And then I was like, oh, I should do stand up too with the songs. So I just started combining the songs with stand up. And that's how it started pretty much. It's like what got the ball rolling.
I think that's absolutely fabulous, and that's just, I mean, a varied degree of influences and wanting to do things, and people would kind of skew you, like, you should do this or you can't do this or that and what have you, and again, you figured out a way to do it impeccably well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think people always want to tell you what they think you should do, especially when you do stand up. People always want to tell you what jokes you can say and what you can't say. They're always coming up to me just telling me what I shouldn't be saying, and I hate that. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Can I curse on here? This is a
Yeah.
podcast, right? I can curse on here, right?
Yeah. Actually, something weird happened with my audio. Promote stuff. I'm going to jump out of the studio, actually.
Oh, okay, so I'll promote. I have a YouTube channel, and I have my latest video. It's called Israelis. It's about Israelis and my obsession with how hot they are. But I also hate them. It's on my channel, which is youtube.com/pollywally. And I also have an Instagram you can follow me. It's Pollywally Comedian. And on Wednesday in Burbank, I'm doing a comedy show. If you want to attend, you can follow my Instagram, Pollywally Comedian, and you'll see the information for it on there. If you just click my bio. I think I'm getting bit by mosquitoes, dude. It's pretty much all I have to promote. And my new highlighted hair. You can kind of see on camera.
We're back. Holy smoke. I don't know what the hell happened. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Do you remember your first gig?
Yes, actually I do. It was like 2000, my first stand-up gig. It was at Flappers, and I don't even know how I got on the show. Oh, I got on the show from Actors Access. And I don't think I even went to an open mic before that. I was just like, oh, I can do comedy. I'm funny. And then I went on there. I didn't have any material prepared. I just basically, this is so funny because this is something I would never do now. Like, I'm all prepared all the time. And I just went up there and just talked about how I want to go to Africa. Like, that's all I remember. And like, someone in the audience was like, she's so cute. Like, that's what I remember.
Well, I mean, isn't it kind of weird now that obviously there's structure to your act and everything that you're doing now, but like it's the bit of spontaneity that actually kind of brought you to the dance, so to speak.
I mean, yeah, it's like I think it's almost better when you're just more spontaneous. You're not thinking too much about everything, and not. I mean, it's a kind of a mix for me. you have to keep the spontaneity just to keep it all interesting and fun, but also have material that you're building up to make it strong, you know? I think it's,
Mm-hmm.
but like I totally believe in comedians going on stage and riffing, and I've gotten better at doing that and not giving a shit depending on the crowd or whatever, but you know, yeah, I think it's both for sure. Some of the best riff.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking about riffing about the crowd, have you? What is the weirdest kind of crowd that you've uh, done, performed in front of, and
I
maybe a heckler of sorts?
I'm not gonna lie, it's interesting to perform in front of like very woke people because I'm not woke and I'm not
Mm.
politically correct. So I've gotten booed a lot by people that are really woke and you can't say that. Boo, you know. And to be honest, sometimes depending on my mood, sometimes it's funny and makes me more like it makes me have fun more to piss them off.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want to like literally do comedy for people that are actually laughing. So it depends on my mood. I'm kind of like I like, you know, like Ari Shafir. I don't know if you
Yes. Yeah. Of course, Ari.
yeah, he's like one of my inspirations. Like for sure, like I'm up that alley, like where I like to piss people off, you know, make them uncomfortable, and I enjoy that. So
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, Ari's talked about it, Rogan's talked about it, Joey Diaz has talked about it, where, comedy is really like that last vestige of like real truth, free speech, and everything that any particular political side they want to go on, and that's their fucking, hill to die on, and what have you. But really, comedy, like if you start censoring comedy, what the fuck do we have, man?
well, they already are because now at the comedy store, or I don't know about the comedy store, but I think the comedy store and the improv, if supposedly if you start saying jokes about the vaccine, they're gonna find out and they're gonna say something. They don't want people joking about the vaccine and stuff. So,
Which it's kind of funny, right? Because it might have been a Rogan podcast where I can't remember who was on, but they were talking about Mitzi, Mitzi Shore, the late great Mitzi Shore, and her. Right after 9/11, there was a particular comic that was like he wanted to go all in after 9/11, and that dude didn't get spots for like 2 weeks. She was just like, too soon, too soon. So like, I know there's been some of that, and depending on like the artist material and what have you, there has been some sort of, I wouldn't say censorship, but like definitely curtailing a particular way. But like,
I mean, for sure, like, dude, if you, well, because it's so hardcore, it's like about this whole vaccine stuff. So it's like basically they don't want people saying something about the vaccine because, like, what if they want to make sure that people they like you can only go in there if you're vaccinated now.
right.
So it's like they want to make sure that people aren't bullshitting to get in, and that's why they're watching the jokes to see if they're joking about this, so they could be like, oh, is this person not really vaccinated? Or that, sorry. I feel like if you're a famous comedian, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
That's just how it is these days. These days, it seems like some of these famous guys can get away with things more, probably, and they can get in the door more over these things. But I and like underground comedy is going to come out more. Like this is the time.
Yeah, I mean, Sycamore Tavern. There's a bunch of spots that are just coming out. People doing it, especially during like. Oh, go ahead.
I used to go there. I was just going to say I haven't been there in so long.
Yeah, but that's one of the things. Like obviously Chappelle kind of doing it. I don't know if it was on his property or near his property out in Ohio, but doing these like outdoor comedy deals, and that's another thing that during the pandemic where a lot of places, comedy places went away because you essentially had to, adhere to, COVID restrictions, and we're doing stuff outdoor rather than like I'm paying rent for the building, but we're going to do stuff in the parking lot. But then people, it gets weird. It got weird. It really got weird.
Sometimes even when I'm inside, because I've been producing my own comedy show, and sometimes I'm just like it's almost like I forget that this pandemic has happened because everyone in there we don't have masks on, And it's so nice, and I'm just like, wow, it's so normal, feels so good. Because I still get in this place, I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I'm still in the place where I'm not like used to this. I'm not, so I don't accept things probably easily, and that's my
Right.
problem. But I'm just like, this feels still like a nightmare that I'm trying to wake up from. That I'm just like, can this please just end? Like, when is this shit gonna go back to normal, or should I just move to Florida? You know?
Yeah, which a lot of people have done. The California Exodus. As most people call it. It's just like but it's weird, right? Because like there's gentrification that happens here in LA and all of this stuff, right? And then we go to like Idaho or Colorado, Nebraska, Florida, Texas, and then we end up gentrifying, neighborhoods that people who lived in the fucking communities can't even fucking afford anymore. It gets weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are wanting to leave because they're just like over this shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like too much. It's just too much.
Which I mean, did you grow up in the greater Los Angeles area, pretty much?
Oh, thank God. I never want to be from this place.
Okay.
No, I'm from Philly.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, thank you for bringing that Philly style onto the West Coast, man. I mean, there's nothing like East Coasters where they've been through shit, and like I think here in LA specifically, right? And not so much other parts in California, but like LA specifically, it's just like, oh, they don't have almond milk at the Starbucks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's different. It's levels. It's levels.
I know. No, it's like people out here that either really appreciate the East Coast humor and personality, or they're really just uncomfortable. So I
Yeah.
get both. I get both. Like, or people usually they laugh and they can appreciate it, or they think I'm just a bitch, and it's just like I'm just really direct. It's not that I'm trying to be a bitch. It's just that's where I'm from. That's how I act. So you know.
I mean, do you also feel that, maybe as a female comic that, maybe, let's say a New York male comedian will kind of talk about the same, bits in their act or, have similar
Their
themes?
dick and how big it is.
Yeah, 100%. There you
No.
go.
I feel like, well, with being a female comic, the thing about, and I know females always talk about this, it's just that it is like a male world still.
Hmm.
And so, like, especially being someone that's decently looking as a woman, like the comics, I feel like they have less respect sometimes. Like, it's almost like I feel like they have more respect for ugly female comics.
Mm.
Kind of sucks sometimes because I feel like they treat me in a certain way. I even heard Rogan actually in a podcast say this the other day, where he was talking about it was with Jessica Kirsten,
No, yes.
and I like her a lot, and they were talking about how like female comics that go on stage looking too hot and how it's distracting, and they shouldn't do that. And I don't know. I get what they're saying. I think you shouldn't look like a total whore, but I still look cute when I go up there. Like I'm
Right.
not I don't wear like short shorts and shit, but like I still look cute and I have makeup on. But I still think it can work and you can still be funny. The thing is that but definitely men treat you, I feel like a certain way. Like there's a lot of immature guys that are in comedy. More like the open micers. I'm not talking about like professionals that are successful. They're different. But like the open micers, they're really just like I feel like they don't want to have your back as much as they would have their guys' backs, That's the vibe I've gotten, and maybe that's just my own energy. I don't know. I'm projecting out there.
No, I don't. And I kind of piggybacking on what you were saying about, maybe bigger names, don't get the same treatment or get preferential treatment versus, people that might not be household names. Well, that actually happened in the WWE. They released like, I think, four of their top talents because they wouldn't get the vax and they were open.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And then they fired, I think, like five other people just so they wouldn't be like, oh, the four are non-vax and openly non-vax. So we'll fire another five people who wanted their release anyway to just be like, oh, it's a fucking thing. Like, oh, just budget cuts. At a time where they just announced like their biggest fiscal year in record history and like taking the Saudi money for doing shows in Saudi Arabia during a pandemic. Yeah, I mean, they went like right after Jamal Khashoggi got dismembered, and they were looking at Trump like, "Can we go? Can we go? All right, cool, let's go."
I don't know about WWE though. I used to watch that with my crazy friend as a kid. She was obsessed with it.
Yeah,
WWE.
yeah, but it's kind of weird, right? Where maybe there's people that might have steroids or whatever. If you're a lower tier act, well, guess what? Like you're gonna get, hey, you shouldn't do that, or might get fired. Versus, there's no way John Cena could be, or The Rock. That like that's not natural. Like there's something going on there.
Yeah, it's all fucking stupid. The whole thing, man. I hate all of it.
Yeah, which
And my bar, I work at a bar in Burbank, and on Saturday night, they weren't asking for the vaccine cards before. Like they
right.
haven't. And then all of a sudden, someone complained or something, or supposedly there was an undercover on Friday night. So then on Saturday, all of a sudden, my boss starts going up to everyone, all the customers, asking if they have the vaccine cards. And he's like he's like a COVID Nazi. Like whenever you wear you wear the mask, he's like freaks out if you don't have it on all the time. Like he's just fucking annoying. But what's it called though? So he was going on to my customers. He kicked out one of my customers because they didn't have it. It's like we started losing business. So then the security guard at the front, he had to, ask people for their vaccine cards. He counted how many people he had to turn away. It was like 30, 40 people. And so the owner of the whole place was like, okay, fuck that. Don't card anymore for the vaccine. Because it's like, bro, fucking, I mean, I know this podcast isn't that famous, so no one's going to hear this. So I don't want to get them in trouble. But,
Yeah, right.
but like it affects the business for both the owners and me, who's the, trying to make money. But it's just like most of the clients, the people that come in there are not the people that are getting vaccinated. Like it's just, and it's not everybody. And it's like crazy. You're going to bully people and you're going to lose business and shit and bully people into getting this thing to put in their body. It's just insane to me. It's just fucking like communist to me. Like, I'm just like, bro, the fuck? How are you going to tell people what they can put in their body?
Yeah, which man, yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. What the fuck, right? It's just, I mean, that's the entire world landscape right now. It's like, what the fuck? Which, that's why I feel like, comedians such as yourself, like you guys are fucking last hope, man. Like, like I went down like a wormhole of like your YouTube page, which I mean, obviously, link in the description. But Dollar Tree is the real. That's what I put to the reel when I promoted this.
Yeah, I saw
this
that.
deal. Yeah, man. And that's it. I think I discovered you and your stuff through Luis Jimenez, I believe it is.
Who is it?
No, Joe. I'm sorry, Joel Jimenez. I'm sorry. Yeah, Joel.
How? He told you, or you just saw it?
I just saw it because I was. Like we have a mutual friend, Eddie Torres, and what have you. And he was promoting a show, and then I saw you, and I was like, different. It looks interesting. And then I went ahead and because you were tagged on the particular flyer, so I went to the profile and I was like, oh shit.
Wait, what flyer? Is it for the show coming up? Is Joel?
I think it was last Thursday's show, but I don't know. Maybe it's the Instagram algorithm or whatever the fuck, but I somehow was happy.
Like Joe's my friend, but I wasn't in a show with him, so I was like,
okay. Well, it was a happy accident, I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
I was gonna ask you that. I was like, how did you find me?
Yeah. So
cool.
But I basically stumbled on it and I was just like, holy shit. And I went down a wormhole, which like first off, I mean, obviously I put, the Dollar Tree one up, but actually my favorite one is Baby Mama.
Really?
Yes, because I grew up in Inglewood. Who don't have that?
Yeah, that guy that I wrote that song about tried to threaten to sue me because I put his voicemail in the song, and he was all like threatening me, but he was bluffing. He hasn't tried to sue me. He was just trying to say, if you don't take this down, I'm gonna have to get my lawyer to sue you. I don't want to have to do that. And then I saw because they're all Israeli. I hang out with all these Israelis, and he's Israeli. And then I see all of his friends at my Shabbat thing, and they're all laughing and they're talking about the video and they're like making fun of him and shit. So that made me like,
Wow.
that's all I wanted from it. I just want to make him feel like an idiot.
Yeah, which I mean, was he? I mean, theoretically speaking, because now I mean he wanted to talk a big game and whatever, and then now that it was culturally accepted, it seems like, right? He was clout chasing off of you, really.
I mean, well, he wasn't cloud chasing. He doesn't like the song. He wants me to take it out because of his voicemail that's in the song.
Yeah, but why? I mean, I get that, but like, it's a great piece of fucking art, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I wrote it out of real anger. Like,
but great things come out of anger, right? Like a lot of, I don't know if you get like the clarity in like Beverly Hills. Like you don't get a grit in Beverly Hills. I don't feel right. Like you angry, disgruntled. That's where fucking true art comes. That's where what what you're made of. Your fucking back is against the wall.
yeah, I mean, I've written some songs out of anger, and then I've written some songs not out of anger. Usually they happen out of a fun place, but this one just came out of, I was like mad at this guy that hurt me, and so I was just like, fuck him, I'm gonna write a song about him, and that's what happened. So
Plus, that's a clapback, right? Because like if he hurt you, I mean,
that's what he gets. That's what he
right.
gets for hurting me. That's how I feel about it, bro. Don't hurt me, and I won't write a song about you.
There you go. So again, don't hurt Polly Wally if nothing else, right? That's it.
I have another one because this guy that I just hooked up with him one time, but he was like talking a lot of talk, like he was really into me. And then that same night, after we made out all day, I didn't have sex with him, thank God. But like that night, he literally made out with this fat black girl in front of me. And like never in my life has this happened to me.
Yeah.
And his name is Yuda. So we started making up some jokes about it, and I was just saying like Yuda, 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 like that big black Buddha, like that Buddha. So that might be another song because this guy hurt me a little bit too, but I have to still write it.
Yeah, no, I think you've got a fan in the missus. The wife is actually just laughing at it. And yeah, that's the wife. And that it's something because she doesn't usually watch anything that I do. So I'm messing. She does it all the time.
Is that your kid in the picture?
Yeah, absolutely. He's now 14 years old.
Oh,
that's Owen. Yeah.
Did your kid have to get vaccinated for school? Are you in LA?
I'm in LA. I'm in LA. And actually, to your point, yep. If you were serving people before the mandates, you should still be serving people regardless. I agree.
Wait, what does she mean?
In terms of the bar that you work at.
Oh, you're saying we shouldn't stop serving them?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have like a lot of regulars, and they don't all have it. So I don't think they all have it. So it's like,
yeah,
they're all just gonna get fakes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Dude. Wait, but did your kid have to get vaccinated? Are you in LA?
So yeah, I'm in LA, and here's the thing. So the school that we were basically at, they were an art school, right? And they didn't want to teach actual education. They're like, oh, it's okay if they can't spell words in the 6th grade, right? So we yanked them out, and we were actually doing online school starting in October 2019. So it's just old hat for us.
Oh, so he's homeschooled.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, if I had a kids these days and I was raising them in LA, I would probably fucking homeschool them too. Because it's like, bro, you can't be making children get this stuff to go to school. I mean, the whole thing's so crazy.
Which, I mean, it's not to say, I mean, like I said, I grew up in Inglewood and, like welfare kid. And the thing about it, it's not to say that they weren't already, putting hormones in our fucking food any damn way,
I mean, listen, the thing about this whole vaccine is like people will say like, oh, you've probably put worse drugs into your body. But it's like someone brought up a good point to me yesterday. They're like, yeah, but the drugs were a choice. If you even put drugs in your body, it was still a choice. Mm-hmm. So, it's different. You can't compare putting drugs in your body, which you chose to do, versus you trying to make me put some needle into my body of something I don't want to do or don't feel comfortable with. And she said, yeah, most of those drugs have been tested for a long time versus vaccine, it is new.
That's a fucking flawed ass argument, though, right? Like, what the? Okay, yeah, it's wild, man. It's the Wild West. But again, that's why I'm super glad that you exist and you're creating the comedy, that you are the videos, like in many ways, right? This is a perfect time for you where you don't have to go to a boardroom or anything to like, can you green light my fucking video? Can I get this producer? You are picking every bit of your presentation, just like how you were saying about how you dress on stage. If you fucking feel comfortable, I say that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a part of the presentation.
Yeah. I mean, you do have to have some point of approval from people to the extent, depending on what you're trying to do. Like, I'm trying to get a movie I wrote made. You have to have someone like it, It doesn't have to be everybody, but enough to get the movie made. That's just the truth. You got to have some people to like stuff. But yeah, you're right. It's a time of freedom. Comedy is coming back, baby.
Yeah, which I guess, I mean, obviously you started off kind of mentioning your influences and what have you, but uh, get as personal or not personal as you want. There have been a lot of people that have attributed to what you've done so far and what you continue to do, so take as long as you need. Let's get some shout outs out of the way.
Oh, shout outs to the people. Yeah, shout out to everybody who supported me and stick by my side, even if they didn't always like my jokes. Lynn Moses. No, they're not listening probably, but I'm just gonna give a shout out.
Yeah.
And I get my humor from my mother, so I'll thank her. And thank my sisters for being cunts so I could write about them. Thank you, sisters. Sisterly love. There's probably a lot of other people. There's a guy that's been coming to my comedy show. He's been really supportive. Mike, a shout out to Mike. I don't know how to say his last name. Yeah, man. I'm just appreciative of anybody that still sticks by me, even if I'm not always approved by the masses. So.
Well, I am a mass of something, so according to Woods approves. Not that you need it anyway, but I love what you're doing. Again, you remind me of so many greats. Like you remind me a lot of like Brett Butler,
Wait,
who's
who?
Brett Butler. She used to have the show called Grace Under Fire.
I don't think I ever saw that. Break.
Also, Grace Under Fire. It was I think it ran for like maybe 3 seasons.
Oh,
Yeah.
Curious.
Yeah, but you're so bold and so fearless in what you do, and whether that be the music videos, actually getting on stage, what you're doing. And that's one of the things that I don't understand about like hecklers. Hecklers are motherfuckers that won't do it themselves, but they will pay pretty handsomely or pretty shittily to see you do it, just so they can be a part of the show by heckling you.
Yeah.
Fuck them, man.
Yeah, actually, sometimes I enjoy hecklers. I like to talk shit, so I don't mind it.
And obviously, is there anything coming up that you've got going down? Where can people
my
see
show is happening on Wednesday in Burbank, at the VFW, and yeah, we'll love to have people come. It's at 8:00. It's at the VFW on Magnolia, and information's on my Instagram, Wolly Comedian.
Which nothing better than right now for people that want to find you on social media. Where can they find you?
Yeah, Instagram, it's Wolly Comedian, POLLYWOLLY Comedian is my Instagram.
Hell yes. Well, and Polly, thank you for doing this and taking time out of your busy day to do this. And thank you guys for watching us here at According to Woods. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to According to Woods on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I mean, Polly, you're subscribed, right?
I have to figure out how to do that, actually. I don't have all those things. I don't have Twitch.
I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But when she does, she'll be subscribed, as will you. And if you don't believe me, or Polly to subscribe to the podcast, well, here's Zeta Zang.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According to